Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Stargirl. This one's called S.T.R.I.P.E, and from what I've been hearing, it's sort of you know, a two-parter, or at least feels like a two-parter. The first and second episode, which is pretty common with these DC Universe shows. Titans wasn't so much, but I know Swamp Thing had a very two-parter feel. Doom Patrol, you could kind of see a two-parter, especially with the introduction of Cyborg. Um, So yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. I am very curious to see how they edit it down for the CW. That was something that was brought up um, in a Discord that I'm in, because these episodes, both 1 and 2, are about 52 minutes long, and with airing commercials and stuff, it has to be around 48. So I'm curious to see what sort of things. I know in the first episode there was a pretty obvious section where she's rummaging through the files and sort of first discovering the staff. That section kind of dragged for a bit. Um, but yeah, that's just sort of interesting there. Um, the other thing I wanted to point out was all these teachers and faculty members and stuff are obviously the old Injustice Society. It was something that I was kind of picking up on, but I didn't really fully get until I looked at it again and sort of saw some of the Easter egg stuff. And I put it in the video in the edits, but it looks like that one teacher in the lunchroom was Tigress. I had to look it up. Apparently that's Tigress. Like, um, if you guys watch Young Justice, Artemis's mom. So not Artemis as Tigress, but it's Artemis's mom. Sportsmaster was presumably the guy that was sort of the guy that runs the gym, and he was sort of trying to get Pat to join him. Um, we had the janitor, custodian looks like the wizard, um, and then Icicle and what's his name, Brainwave. They were just parents. We didn't really see them in incognito, but they were hanging around obviously. So like I said, I'm very curious to see where this season goes. Pat knows something because he wants to. He was the one that was pushing to move back here and such. So um, I'm sort of seeing what made him decide now is the time to sort of go back to the old stomping grounds. It seems like he's looking for trouble almost, especially if he's building Stripe. So what is he expecting to happen? Um, and yeah, let's just get into this episode. I'm very excited.
Someone's downstairs.
What?
I heard them come in.
He looks a lot like, I think he's the
Stay with your
nerd from the
What-
last
wait,
episode,
what
but
is it?
It's the cat, I'm sure.
he looks like Hartley from Pied Piper from The Flash. That's Wizard. What the hell? Is he Mirror Master now? Or? Wait, what? Is he Wizard?
I'll warn you once. Stay out of my head, Henry.
Get out of
I
my head, Charles.
understand you.
I thought maybe they passed.
No!
You know, you might laugh at those red and white stripes I wore, but people looked at those instead of my face. We had costumes for a reason, to protect our families.
You didn't have a costume, you had a freaking
Costume.
sweater vest.
Check.
That's a nice shot.
Well, I left Kentucky back in 49 and went to Detroit working on assembly.
I fell down the basement stairs.
What?
Oh, well, I tripped down those basement stairs.
Freaking
You
basement
both fell
stairs.
down the basement stairs?
Wow.
Hey, look, I want some eggs, right? Not so runny. Pronto.
Trash. I think it's interesting that the jock is like
I have a
Brainwave's
few more
son.
questions about the other night. What am I thinking?
Come on, Dad.
Try and guess.
I hate when you stare at me like this. It's weird.
Look me in the eyes and tell me what I'm thinking.
I'm furiously writing because I did do a little bit of research on Brainwave, and this is a very interesting scene right now.
And I have to take the bus.
What are you gonna go into? Sorry, that wasn't English. You're gonna go into the home ec class step 1, she got a machine. Step 2, does she actually know how to do anything?
We taking care of business.
I guess
It's
not.
time to step
And
it
she's
up.
just like, yeah, she
You
doesn't
either
have
come in
fabric
with
scissors. She
us,
doesn't know what to do.
or you'll be left in the dust. A girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do.
Girl!
A girl's gotta do.
You gotta be right in the window, like, Pat, I see you. That's a nice mirror shot.
Whoa! Pat, come on, man. Don't bring this stuff in here. What are you thinking?
Go, we're starting right now.
Yeah, come on, baby. Get pumped. This is Crusher's house.
This dude.
Dad used to tell me, you gotta want pain. You gotta make pain your friend.
Heavy for this time of day.
I'm so glad you like it.
Why'd she have
Let's
to
call
do that?
Dad. Family lunch.
I'm in the picture. Oh, hey.
Hey, sweetie.
Her dad is
a little swamped right
that dude.
now.
I've got Mom on the line too.
Hey, baby.
And
Dr. Chapel,
This is such a fucking small town.
we wouldn't miss it.
Lag. Sorry, it is fucking, like I said, it's like
My parents are the
what is
best.
it, 81 degrees right now.
Can you
Okay,
stop
86
staring at
degrees.
me?
90 feels like 86. There's a weather warning. It's saying it's like heat wave, so it's probably shorting out my computer, the connection, because I'm Ethernet right now, and it's. They needed to stop this man because he is way too powerful. Just like with Young Justice and Simon, it's like they needed to do
It's
something
seriously,
with that dude.
it's hard.
Look at that cookie tower.
Hey, me again. These are not on the program.
Yeah. Program? What program?
The program that you started today, big guy. I call it Pat 2.0. This stuff
Don't,
will kill you.
bruh.
You gotta be kidding me.
This is why I don't work out. I did it
This
for 20
guy's
days.
crazy.
It's disgusting.
Legacy.
Like the more that
My
we're
boy
seeing
here
him,
is
the
quite
more
the
I feel like
musician
he's going to be
himself.
important later
He'll
on.
be better than I ever was. A real savant. And a cute one at that.
Mom,
My sweet boy is so modest.
And the principal too. But maybe not everyone's like a superpowered person. Okay, maybe there's just people in this town. I need to think
What are
about
you doing?
oh, it's me. Hi, I'm Denise Derrick.
Pat Dugan. Hi.
You're new to Blue Valley.
Yeah, me and my family just moved here. You?
Oh no, I've been here a long time.
Seems nice.
Yeah, people think so.
Oh, I'm a bragger with this one.
Brainwave.
Girl, why would you do that?
Excuse me.
He can read mine. Why would you say his name?
It's not.
Hell no.
Your mother, Barbara.
Back in the morning, you get your mom and Mike, and you leave Blue Valley. You leave, and you never, ever look back. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Stop.
Like, I'm glad that Pat's putting his foot down, but narratively, I know that she's gonna break the rules and save his life. Which is fine. We need to see her. I just want her to. I like her attitude of like trying to be the hero, but she also needs to take into advice some of Pat's advice. You know, she needs to take some of that to heart because right now she's just like, I'm invincible. It's like, no, girl, these people will kill you. You need to train, get better, work with a team. You know.
Thanks, Mom.
We're gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
Blast him. Just no questions asked.
Someone looking for justice.
Rip. Blast him. Okay, girl.
I'm Stargirl. And that's my sidekick.
Sure, Dan. drain his powers? What'd you do? Start mining operations. Grundy.
Hello, old friend.
Not let him mount yet. Interesting.
Welcome back. Yeah, let me show you.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Look at that thing. Okay, he's the purple dude, but is that wizard on the far right?
Whoever that is, took out Brainwave.
Okay, wait. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wow. Whoa. Who is this? Like, we see Grundy in the back, Tigress, Sportsmaster, Icicle, Brainwave. I'm not sure who Purple Dude is, but he's obviously part of the team, and I had a feeling, because he seemed very weirdly mean, not necessarily evil, during that first scene with them. And this dude. One of them has to be Wizard, but it's not this dude, so it has to be this dude. I'll just start off with that. Wizard, is it the Councilman? I assume it's the Councilman now because he had a wand, so I'm like, okay, he's probably the Wizard. But then, what's up with that janitor dude that we saw in the first episode? Because they were definitely making a stick about him, but based on the numbers, you know, unless I missed somebody on that picture. But, you know, the big guy, the purple dude, is that dude at the American Dream, and he's not Wizard, so the other one has to be Wizard. But basically, we have one missing person right now. We have the Wizard. We have to figure out who he is, but we have two people that I don't know which one he is. So very curious about that. If you guys know who this purple dude is, let me know too. I'm not sure if that'll be a spoiler or not, but I mean, we're all on the same page, right? Unless you looked at leaks or something. But if you guys have an idea about just like based on the comics and stuff, feel free to let me know who you think that is, because I am intrigued. And like I said, I was doing some research. So transitioning off of that, let's go to my research. So Brainwave, as they kind of hinted here, is a legacy character. A lot of these characters are legacy characters, obviously. Jay Garrick, you know, Alan Scott, which I missed in the picture. Green Lantern, which I did not notice. Sorry, the lighting got really dark all of a sudden. But yeah, you know, the JSA is very much about legacies, and I think it's, you know, Wildcat to Black Canary, the Hawks, Dr. Fate is kind of a legacy character in a sense. So it's a really cool idea to play with. Stargirl, obviously a legacy character. And so that same goes for villains. We have Sportsmaster and Tigress. Are we going to get an Artemis type character? I believe Artemis specifically was created... Artemis existed in the comics, but the incarnation of Artemis in Young Justice was a Young Justice original, as far as I'm remembering. I believe Cheshire was the daughter of Sportsmaster and Tigress, so we might get her in this, some down, you know, if like a season 2 perhaps. We might get like the, you know, the kid villains, because I think right now we have enough on our plate with the adult villains. We have the 7 of them, or however many. I'm not counting right now, but you know, we already have an existing Injustice Society, so we obviously have those villains. But I think if this show gets future seasons, it'll be cool to play with that legacy dynamic. We're obviously going to get it with the heroes based on the poster, but you know, playing with the villains, Icicle Jr., Brainwave Jr., which was something interesting I read upon in my research. Brainwave Jr. apparently absorbed his father's consciousness or something and got more powerful than his father was. So if they play with that, that'll be cool. Which they kind of hinted at here. You know, right now it doesn't look like he has any powers, the kid, the jock. But, you know, his father's out of commission now. Maybe it'll unlock something in him. It's interesting to see because, again, I just think that's a pretty cool character, actually, to have a jock that's, you know, playing with that trope of jocks are dumb. Making him a very powerful psionic would be awesome. But again, with Brainwave in general, I think I'm curious to see, is he out of commission forever? Is it like comatose, or is he just like unconscious for now? When he wakes up, if he does wake up, will he have his memories again? What's the situation with that? Because like I said, he is like the moment they like revealed that he knew who she was, her identity was out there, he's gonna kill her no matter what. We had to do something about him. He either has to die or he has to forget how to do something. We have to deal with this problem. And so they put him in a nice nebulous spot where he could return, he could die, he could have his memory wiped. There's a lot of different avenues they could take with that character. Maybe his son inherits the mantle. A lot of different stuff's going on. Kind of a couple points I put down here was the voice acting slash character acting. I really appreciate all the actors on the show. They're doing it's a cool like timeless feel to this, which obviously is part of the golden age. Is that it's I touched upon it, but I didn't really explain it very well. But the golden age is very much retro but modern. It's sort of like this place of like we don't know what time period it is, even though it is, even though they specifically stated it's 2020, we saw it on their little ID cards. It still feels like the 1950s, maybe. It's like this weird nebulous zone of like, well, it's current, but it's also like not. And it plays with the legacy stuff too. But my point in that is that all these villains, especially, have very unique voices. And it feels almost cartoony in a sense, but it works. The campiness of it sort of helps to elevate the form, I think, and again, really solidifies the tone. As you could probably tell, I really like this episode compared to the first one, and it shows that it was meant to be a two-part, especially because it just sort of fills in a little bit of those gaps, sort of gets the plot rolling in a better fashion. It just feels more like a complete thought, and so looking back, I'm coming to terms with the first episode a bit more. But yeah, I really appreciate this episode as a whole. The way it's sort of moving the plot forward, moving our characters in a positive direction, giving them focus. But yeah, I just wanted to point out again, a lot of these characters, these actors have really unique voices. I mentioned last episode, Breck Bassinger, or however you pronounce her name, Stargirl. She has a really cartoonish, sweet bubblegum voice, and it almost feels like I'm pretty sure it's not her regular voice, like she's putting on an accent for it, but it works. It just feels nice to hear. And the same thing was happening with Brainwave. I was feeling, it doesn't look like that voice should come from that body, but it works. It's got that very condescending tone. He's the smartest person in the room. It feels almost to the point of ridiculousness, but it just really helps to elevate these characters and sort of push them. Again, with Sportsmaster, we saw that little scene in the gym. Again, he's such like a cartoonish character of like, yeah, I'm the jock, yeah, I'm the gym coach. Let's do this, and it works. The overtopness works for it. So I just really wanted to praise this show for doing that. Just a little minor thing, critique, I guess you could say. The pacing, it was just kind of like weird narratively what we were doing. So we started off with the aftermath of the fight from last episode. So it was nighttime. Um, they go fly off, whatever. They're all injured, and then all of a sudden it's daytime. Stripe is in the field working on doing that training montage, and then we go into the breakfast scene. And it's like, wait a minute, how? It just looked very bright in that field, so I was like, okay, it's probably like noon. And then all of a sudden we're back to, it's breakfast now, and it's the next day after because the scars are fresh and all that. And then all of a sudden we're at, the parent-teacher conference, or, whatever, the orientation thing, after a day of school. So it's just like, I don't know. It was like a very compact day, and it just felt in a weird order. But again, it didn't take me out of the episode. It was just kind of like sitting back, taking a step back, looking at the big picture. It's just kind of like, is that really the best way you could have done this sequence of events? Okay, last two things, really tiny things. Amy Smart, who is Barbara, the mom, I really appreciate her. I looked up what she was in before because I recognized her face, but again, I like thinking about it now. I'm like I can't remember what I remember her from. Um, but she is just really refreshing. She's doing the part that you know, I think she's just performing the part very well. I want to give props to her. And I'm sure she's been in a lot of stuff that I just haven't seen, but I just think that she's doing well here, and it's really cool to see. Some of these, like I said, some of these people just really putting on a performance, and in a good way. I think Luke Wilson is definitely the biggest name of this cast, and I feel like he's not outshining anybody, which is awesome. All these character actors are very well in what they're doing, and it shows they're all working together as an ensemble, which is awesome. Again, I like ensemble shows, so the more that we get into multiple characters and exploring them and building them up, the better. Like I said, last episode I wasn't really feeling Courtney, but now that we have more of Pat's side and we're getting more of the villains, I think it's really coming together and making this show elevated. The last thing I had was Ted Knight. I don't remember who. Ted Knight did something. Ted Knight found the cosmic staff. So I'm curious to see. I'm not going to look it up because I feel like that'll be a spoiler. Hello? Sorry, my computer is about to go into sleep mode. Ted Knight is probably a spoiler. We'll probably delve into more of the origins of the cosmic staff going forward, so I'm not going to look into it. But yeah, I'm just very intrigued to see what that is. As far as the plot overall, this episode, it looks like we're getting nuggets of like what's going on here. Obviously, the American Dream has something to do with it. We've been new, okay? There's like a secret facility under there. The JSA headquarters, or whatever, the Injustice Society headquarters is under there. Solomon Grundy's locked up for whatever reason. Um, Mr. Mustache, Colonel Mustard looking dude. He's obviously evil. Again, if you guys want to let me know who that is, feel free. Um, but they're obviously doing something in this town. I think they said Our Man was following the Injustice Society after that whole attack, and led them to here. So Pat sort of took up the trail and is investigating. Well, he was investigating, but he didn't realize that they were still here. So whatever they're doing has obviously taken 10 years to complete, and they're still working on it. And so it's really intriguing, again, to see sort of what their plot is, what their motivation is. Okay, I rambled long enough. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode. And yeah, I need to drink some water. Stay hydrated, everyone. It's freaking hot. Okay, thanks for watching.